I'm making a cozy and customizable crochet hexagon hooded sweater perfect for any size, from babies all the way up to adults. This pattern is super versatile and you can adjust it based on your needs. And speaking of customization, I'm using this beautiful gradient cake yarn from Yonkey, a fantastic sponsor of this video. They generously provided this gorgeous yarn, which comes in packs of 2, perfect for a baby-sized hooded sweater like the one we'll be crocheting today. If you love the colors and texture, you can check them out at yonkeymonkey.com. Alright, let's dive into this fun and easy project together. The recommended crochet hooks is 4mm and it's absolutely soft. It has a chinette core and that halo around that core makes those pretty colors and it's absolutely gorgeous. Soft, soft, soft. Alright, we'll start with a slip knot. Insert your hook in your slip knot and chain 5. We'll make a ring with this chain, so go back to the first chain and do a slip stitch. And with your tail, just tighten that ring and chain 3. And then go back into the ring and do a single crochet so you can form these tiny little spaces where we're going to start our corners. So we need 6 of them. So 1, 2, 3, and then a single crochet into your ring. 1, 2, 3, and single crochet into your ring for a total of 6 loops around that ring of chains. And I'll meet you at the beginning. Now that we are back at the beginning, go back to that first chain space and do a slip stitch in that one. Carrying your tail behind so you don't have to weave in anything at the end. Chain 2 and do 2 double crochet into the same chain space. And then chain 2 and into the same chain space do 3 more double crochet. So we have 2 clusters of 3 with chain 2 between them. And this is our first corner. So we're going to have 6 corners. I'm going to use my clips so you see a better visual presentation of where we're going to work next. So this is our first corner. And just with no chains between, we go into the next chain space and we'll do 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then new 3 double crochets into the same space. And here we have the second corner and you can put a second marker. You can use these clippies or you can use a stitch marker, it doesn't really matter. And then we are moving into the next space and we are doing again 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. And I'll keep doing that till all of my chain spaces are full. We are back at the beginning of the row again, and with slip stitches, we're gonna close that first round. And then with slip stitches again, we're gonna be going into that corner. And we're gonna remove the clippy and we'll put it back again so it reminds us that's a corner. And in the corner, we'll do a slip stitch again, and then we'll chain 2 and single crochet into the same chain space. Then because that will be the new space where we're gonna put in the new corners. And chain 2 and single crochet between the granny clusters now. And we'll do a single crochet there, and then we'll chain 2. So this is our corner to remind us, and we are into the next corner again. So we'll do a single crochet into that corner, we'll chain 2 again, and then we'll single crochet into the same corner, and then chain 2, and then we'll single crochet between the clusters of the corners. And I'll put my corner back again here, and I'll do my corner this way. So chain 2 into the corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet between the granny clusters. And then here is my new corner to work, and I'll do that for the rest of the corners. So I'm at the last chain, so chain 2, and we will be going into that first corner here with a slip stitch. Bring your yarn there, And now chain 2 for the first double crochet of the granny cluster. We are counting those double crochets as a stitch. So into the same chain space, we'll do 2 double crochets together with the chain. It makes 3 double crochets, chain 2. And into the same space, we do 3 more double crochets. And we have a new corner again here. And I'll put my clippy back so it reminds me that this is the beginning as well. And now into those chain spaces, I'll be putting 3 double crochets everywhere. So we have 2 clusters here because we have 2 chain spaces before we do a corner again. And the corner will be again 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. And I'll keep repeating that for all the corners and all the sides till I reach the beginning of my row again. And this is a 2-row repeat. 1 row with granny clusters and 1 row with chains. Once you reach the end, we'll again slip stitch into the top of the chain, and with slip stitches in each stitch, we'll go till the corner again. So we can start our new row with chains. So we have 2 chains here and single crochet into the same chain space, then chain 2 and single crochet between the granny clusters now. So from now on, we're going to be going every time they'll be increasing those granny clusters, and we'll be increasing our rows as well, and that's how it's going to grow. So it's going to also become wavy, just like that. So when we actually want that waviness, and we'll be able to make that shape of the hexagon turn into our cardigan or sweater, depending do you want to connect the front or not. And then here you can see I put the colors so that it's much easier to visualize how it goes, and that's okay to curl. So here the greens go with the greens, the purple with the purple, and the pink with the pink when you fold it, just like this. Before we start with crocheting the first rows, we're going to have to match the colors of both skins. The colors are just gorgeous, but they do not go in the same sequence from the beginning, so I'll just have to adjust them, not a big deal. All right, so I marked my colors. So the purple color of the clip goes to the purple color, and that's how they went. So if I want to use the middle of this yarn, I'm gonna have to pull it out and then pull out this blue part, and then I'm gonna match them so I know when I start them in the armpit, both pieces, they'll be exactly the same. And I will just go till the core, till the beginning of my yarn here, and wherever my yellow stops, this will be the beginning where I'll just pull them and measure them at the same time. And it works every time. It's just a little bit of more work at the beginning, but it's totally worth it. Just when I decide to stop crocheting and pick my size, I measure the sides of the hexagon, because the smaller the size will give me the arm circumference or the upper arm measurement. I'm going for 0 to 6 months baby sweater, so I want to go for like 7.5, about 8 inches, and I'm right there. So I will stop crocheting here, and I will have to now make my hexagon into this shape, in the shape of a letter L. So now that my colors are like that, the pinks are right across each other and the purples are right next to each other, they have to meet. So corner to corner, corner to corner, and corner to corner. And at this point, now, we have the 2 pieces that are exactly the same, and we stop here where we have to do the chains. Is small, so we have to bring it to the chest circumference we need, and we're gonna have to add rows. For that purpose, I will get my yarn, and this I decided to be my front. So I will start from the back, and I will go down and all around up here to, and this is where I'm gonna stop. This will help make my neck opening a tiny bit bigger. So, and I will be working in the back of the work, because when I turn, my double crochets will be on the right side. And grab your new yarn and chain 2 And into the next space we do single crochet and chain 2 and then single crochet again. Once we come back, we'll grab those ends and we're gonna crochet over them so we can trap them in the stitches. And then chain 2. And we'll do the same thing all over again, going through the corners and ending right here. And then we're gonna connect the sleeves and the fronts and the back. And I reached my marker, so I will go into it and then chain 2, turn, and now I'm gonna do a row of new granny clusters all the way around the finished row here. And now the other side as well. Because this is a mirror image, now instead of starting from the back, we're gonna start from the front but on the back side. So for the neck opening, I will measure the size I need to be. So for me it's about 5 inches, which comes here at this point of my granny cluster, that second set of granny clusters. So I'll make sure it is symmetric on both sides, and that's gonna be it for me. So one mark here, and I'll mark it on this side as well. And now I'll start getting the sleeves up to here and I'll stop. Alright, so the sleeves will be an easy peasy thing. Grab both sides and starting from the first stitch here, we're going to be working at the back loops of each stitch. So once you see that V over here, we'll be grabbing this piece and we'll be grabbing this piece as well. So we'll be working in the corresponding stitches. So we'll start here from that chain space and we'll grab the back piece from the other chain space and we'll pull it through the stitch. Then I'll grab the one on the right and I'll pull it through my loop. Then I'll grab the back loop from the stitches on the left and I'll pull them through my loop. Then I'll do the same thing again from the right back loop, pull through, left back loop, pull through, right back loop, pull through, and all the way till the mark. Make sure that you stay in your corresponding stitches, and if you skip something, just go back and redo it again, and this will create a flat seam here that's not gonna bother your shoulder, and you don't need extra yarn for that. Use your stitch marker to catch that last loop here, and we will make sure we go through that loop when we start with the hood. So keep it there safe, and I'll do the same thing for the other sleeve and the front and the back as well. And this is how it looks. So for my sleeve needs to be 6 inches, so I can add a few more rows if I want to, or I can add a little bit of a cuff. Start the cuff of the sleeve after you decide to increase or elongate the sleeve, and working from the right side, go through the bottom middle of the sleeve. So this is the bottom side, and we're gonna be starting and finishing our row there. So do a single crochet with your slip knot and then chain 2, tighten your slip knot here, and then do a yarn over and go through the next stitch and pull a loop through, then yarn over and go through the next stitch and pull a loop as well. So now we have 5 loops on our hook, and go through all of them. And do it again, yarn over, pull through the next loop, and then yarn over and pull a loop through the next stitch as well. So we are decreasing 2 stitches at a time. And then we'll do the same thing again, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through all those 5 loops on your hook. And we have decreased 2 stitches at a time. And do this all the way till the end of your round, and I'll meet you there. When you reach the end, pull a loop through the last chain here we did at the beginning, and then chain 1. Now we're gonna have a row of half double crochets in each stitch. Yarn over, go into the first stitch and do a half double crochet, and then all around just like that we'll have a second row of half double crochets. Slip stitch to the beginning, chain 1, and then we're gonna do a row of single crochets, and that's how we're gonna end it. Just single crochets here, no yarn overs, and that's our cuff here. For the hood, we'll start again with chains, with a row of chains here, but we'll start again from the inside of the sweater because we want the stitches that are double crochets to face to the right side. And we'll start here again from the corner of the collar here. This will leave open so it does not bunch under your chin. And chain 2 again, and we'll go again everywhere in between the granny clusters with a single crochet, and then chain 2. And here, when we reach that marker we did the last time, we want to make sure we grab that one, that stitch here, because it's going to unravel. So chain 2, grabbing that stitch and going into that side here. It's again a space between granny clusters. We're going to get all these loops together. And this is how it worked. And we keep going. And I'll do the same thing over here, and I'll stop at the corner of the other side. I reach the middle of the back, so I will make sure I go through the stitches and I not create a hole. So if there's a hole, just grab a few stitches if you need to twist them and do a single crochet without creating a big gap there. And I'm at the corner, so chain 2. I already did that, and I will do 3 double crochets in each space. The first one will get 2 because we already have chain 2, and then we keep with the same pattern all the way around. So that block stitch works perfectly in that case to create that nice hood. So when you reach the end, chain 2, and then we again single crochets between each granny cluster, and chain 2 and single crochet. And we'll keep repeating those 2 rows for a total of 5 inches starting from that first row. And we're gonna close the last, so the last row we're not gonna have chain 2, it's gonna be just double crochets, and we're gonna do again this way of closing that top, and the hood is ready. Folded the hood in half, and then picking stitches from both sides, again just the back loop of each stitch. I am going towards the top of the hat to the front, and this is my last stitch here. I'll grab that one, and I'll grab the loop, the one that I finished my whole hood with, and here it is, the little hood. It's not gonna go in onto the face that much, but it's gonna protect the ears. And then we're gonna do a row of shells all around the hood so we can give it a nice finished look. We're gonna chain 2, and into each post of the row we'll do 2 double crochets, and then into that middle stitch here in the base or the top of the stitch we'll do a slip stitch so we can secure our shell, and then we'll chain 2 again, and into the post of the stitch we'll do 2 double crochets around it, and then in the base we'll do a slip stitch, and that gives a little nice finished look. And we'll do that all around, even when we reach all the way here, because we still have posts everywhere. When you reach the corner, we're gonna go into that stitch so we don't have a big hole here, and then we'll chain 2, and then we'll have a double crochet into each double crochet, and then into the third double crochet we'll do our single crochet so we can have that shell, and then we'll chain 2 again, and then into the next 2 stitches we'll have a double crochet into each, and then here in the corner we'll just do a slip stitch, and then we'll chain 2, and we still have a post here, and we keep doing the same thing over and over again. We're gonna secure that shell here in the middle, and then we'll keep going. And here is the finished hood. Now we're gonna have to finish here the bottom, and I will make a 3 rows of half double crochets, but with a slightly thinner hook, so I can have a little bit of a tapered end. But you don't have to do it with a smaller hook if you don't want it bunched up or a little bit smaller. And let's get started. So I started here on the side and just half double crochets with a much thinner hook here. Will give it a nice tapered look and a finished edge without being bulky. I'm using 325 crochet hook. Make sure when you weave in your ends, you add a chain to the end of the stitch. So chain and weave, and then chain and you weave. So here it is all done. And watch this video with the cardigan, with the hexagon cardigan. Subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.